Hey friends, welcome back to She's At It Again. My name's Tanya. If you're new to our channel, we do a lot of cooking around here, sometimes garden hacks, sometimes crafts, but mostly a lot of cooking. Today we're going to be making a Granny Smith apple salad, and I want you to come along. I got this recipe years ago. I've changed it up significantly since I got it. It just wasn't exactly something I felt comfortable eating when I first got it, but I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with how good this is, how few ingredients, and how easy it is to make. So go with us as we make some Granny Smith apple salad. All right, we are over here at the counter, and this is my can of pineapple. Ideally, you should get an 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple, but did I do that? No, because I couldn't find organic pineapple in crushed pineapple, so I just have to take the hard way about it. So I'm gonna try to get 8 ounces in here, and you want the juice as well. So if you have an 8-ounce can, you're going to use the whole thing. But since mine is in chunks, I have to use my little food chopper to chop it up. So let's just suffice to say, you won't be doing this part. All right, basically I'm gonna have a cup. I'll use that leftover for something else. And this is my little food chopper. It's basically a dual purpose for my immersion blender. This is the top part of my immersion blender. So put that on there and I'll plug it in. And it's crushed pineapple. That smells so good. Okay, this is one of those, we call it salad, but it's a dessert, people, I'm telling you. It's another one of those things that's a dessert. So, all right, so we have our 8 ounces of crushed pineapple. Let's go over to the stove and we'll start prepping this. All right, this is my saucepan. I'm gonna turn my burner on. In this pan, I am going to put 1/4 cup of coconut sugar. Now you've seen me use this before. If you have coconut sugar, that's great. This is a lot less sugar than what the original recipe I'm just telling you. The original recipe calls for 3/4 cup of white sugar, and that's what I used as many years as I've been making this, but I've just come to the conclusion I don't need that much sugar. I don't even want the sugar part of it, but coconut sugar is not a refined sugar, so we're good with that. Let me get a spoon. So there's our sugar and our flour together. It's 1 tablespoon of flour. Now if you want this to be gluten-free, you can easily replace that with a rice flour, and it will do just fine. It's just basically being used as a thickener. We're also going to use 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. It's been a long time since I've made this, honestly, but used to. No respectable potluck would be without me showing up with Granny Smith apple salad. That's just the honest to goodness truth. Everybody knew that I was going to bring that. No matter what else I brought, I was bringing that too. All right, we'll stir that to where it's all wet. Put it on the burner. We're going to put our pineapple in there. We're going to stir this and cook it till it thickens. And then we're going to let it cool off. You can probably hear my clock in the background chiming. Okay, this will take a little bit, but just keep stirring it. You'll see when it starts to get thick. And this is what it looks like right now. And we'll be back in just a bit and I'll show you what it looks like when it thickens up. Okay, it's starting to bubble just a tiny bit, but it's not getting thick. But it doesn't take long. Once it starts, it kind of comes up on you. So just got to keep stirring it. Don't let it stick to the bottom or scorch in your pan. Okay, this is starting to get a little bit thicker. I'm just going to hold the camera up here, so forgive me if it jumps around. It doesn't have to be super thick, but what it does is it stabilizes the heavy cream when we whip it. It'll stabilize that and keep it from getting weepy and separating the cream from the liquid part of it once we incorporate our apples into our salad. You can see it starting to bubble. Why does it seem like it takes forever? But if I need to run to the garage and get something and come back, it'll be all over the stove. It'll be bubbled up, just cooking as fast as it can possibly go. That's just how it goes, I guess. Okay, I think you can tell that that's getting a bit thicker. Okay, that's about the thickness we want it. I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner off. We're going to let this cool down and I'm going to leave it like that. But for right now, I'm going to start chopping up some apples for our salad because we're going to need those eventually and I don't want to do it at the last minute. But we're going to let this completely cool off to room temperature, and after a while we'll whip our heavy cream, add to that too, and you don't want it to be hot when you add your heavy cream to it. So we'll be right back. Okay, these are our Granny Smith apples and that's what the tag will look like. If it's organic, it'll have a 9 at the beginning of it. And look how huge these are. Aren't these good? All right, we're going to go ahead and wash these. Did y'all know that these stickers are edible on produce? Legally, they have to be edible, I guess, if somebody just gets in a big hurry and forgets to take it off. But not that it would taste good, and not that it would necessarily be good for you, but those legally have to be edible. Thought that was one of those random information things that who cares, but I thought it was kind of funny. The produce guy had to tell me that one time. Granny Smith is one of those apples that you can bake with it, and most people do, or you can eat it fresh. Now there are apples that you don't want to eat fresh, and Rome apple being one of those apples. It just is not good. It's just got a very unappealing texture to it, but they're great to bake pies with. Now Granny Smith apples are kind of a tart apple. Well, I wouldn't say kind of it's a tart apple, but sometimes they're good to eat them fresh, but you just got to be ready for it. It's not one of those sweet apples. My favorite apple is a Fuji, and Honeycrisp, but Fuji being my #1 favorite. But let's see, I'll need a bowl to put these in. Look at our bowl that I make my sourdough in. This is the way I like to cut up my apples. Everybody has their own special way. This one just works best for me. I quarter the apple and then I cut the center out of it. And then I cut them in slices like that. And then I cut the slices in the size pieces I need. I know, Zoe, you think you need one too. She'll start mooing at me in a minute. You ever heard a dog moo? Zoe makes mooing noises, especially when it comes to food. If I'm grating cheese or cutting cheese cubes, she can do some cow mooing, like almost like a cow. Okay, so this is about the size of our cubes of apple. The recipe calls for about 4 cups of apple chunks. So these 3 apples should be plenty. As far as 4 cups, I'm sure we'll probably have more than 4 cups. Zoe, you're not getting any. Okay, this is what 1 apple looks like in there, so that's quite a bit. All right, I'll spare you watching me cube the rest of these, but we'll be back in just a bit. Our recipe also calls for a cup of salted, dry roasted peanuts, chopped. So I have these. And these are not salted. I'm probably going to have to add just a little bit of salt to it, but these are from Natural Grocers. Honestly, that's one of my favorite stores. Some people walk in and go, I don't even know what this stuff is. But when you start finding bulk products like these and spices and just different kind of grains and beans and things like that, it's just so much fun. So it's just a coarse chop. It's not a super fine chop, so this should do the trick. Zoe, you're not getting any of these either. Man, she is being demanding little think today. Aren't you? She thinks she needs apple. She thinks she needs a peanut. She thinks she needs anything I'm chopping up or cutting up. Okay, I got a little bit more than what I needed. Put this part back in the bag. It's the nice thing about these choppers. The chop part goes in the bottom and you still have the whole ones in the top. Okay, we have those aside. We're still letting our pineapple mixture cool. I have it actually sitting in a sink with cool water in it. Have the pan sitting down in it so it'll cool off a little bit quicker. So we'll be right back. Okay, next step. Here we go. Mixer. And I have my bowl and my whisk beater chilled. It's been in the refrigerator. Actually, it's been in the refrigerator overnight because I was going to do this yesterday evening and then just ran out of time. You know how you get to the end of the day and you go, you know what? I thought I was doing that, but it's not near as exciting right now as I thought it was going to be. And this is just heavy cream. The recipe calls for half a cup of heavy cream, so when you whip it, it turns more like a cup. I'm going to use more than that because I have more apples than that. Look how many apples this is. That's more like 6 to 7 cups. So I'm going to get closer to a cup of cream to whip it up like 2 cups of cream. So you want to make sure your beater and your bowl are chilled. Okay, that's all the whipping we're going to do. Tilt this up just a bit. And you can see Zoe. Okay, so this is our heavy cream. It is very, very light and airy. And this is our pineapple mixture. Pineapple, sugar, cider vinegar, and flour. That's so good. It's just so good by itself. Okay, we're going to put this mixture in here. Let me get a spatula. That'll work better than a spoon. And this is cooled off pretty much to room temperature. It's not warm, especially not hot. It's not warm at all though. Okay, clean pan. Take this and just fold it in. Now, if you use white sugar with this, it's not going to be this dark. It's not going to be brown in color. It's just going to be kind of beige, but not near this brown. But to me, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It's a matter of, I just don't need the white sugar. I'd rather have something that's a bit healthier if I'm going to enjoy it, especially this much. All right, we're going to take this. I'm going to add a little bit of this peanut mixture into here. We're going to sprinkle some on the top, so we'll reserve just a little bit for the top. And yes, this is good enough to eat by itself, seriously. So the pineapple in here is not very visible. When you buy a can of crushed pineapple, yours is going to be a little bit coarser than what I have, but if you want to put it in your blender and blend it up smooth like mine was, I think this is fabulous. All right, we're gonna pour this on our mixture. Make sure you can see this. Let me turn this down just a little bit so you can see it. Because you're not here to see me, you are here to see the food. Don't you love a clear bowl? I have 3 of these. Sometimes I'm using all 3 of them and have to wash them in the middle of something because I need it for something else. I love these silly bowls. These make great wedding gifts, I have found. People tell me later on, when I opened that up, I didn't really know what it was, but I use it all the time. I'm like, yep, me too. All right, now you just toss your apples in with this. I'm glad I used more of the heavy cream, because that's definitely enough for that much. If I'd have had half a cup of cream, that'd have been way too many apples. But the recipe will be in the description of this, and I'll go ahead and say the 4 cups of apples in the description, and then the half cup of heavy cream. But just know that this is not 4 cups of apples right here. This keeps really well for about 2 or 3 days. Then after that, some of the liquid from the apples starts, kind of making it a little bit runny. But the flour is a good stabilizer in there for the cream, for the heavy cream itself to stay whipped. Okay, clean the edge of the bowl off here. We're going to take our peanuts and sprinkle on the top. And it's done. And this is our Granny Smith apple salad. And I do hope you give this a try. This is actually, it's better than it looks, I would say. It's not very appealing in this bowl, but I'm telling you, it is so good. And you can call it a salad if you want to. If that makes you feel better, then call it a salad. But I'm telling you, again, this is a dessert. So thanks for joining us, and we look forward to sharing something again with you real soon. Bye, guys.